Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Homelessness Doesn't Have a Face. I want to say thank you so much for everybody that has been tuning in each and every week for every new video. I want to say thank you for the engagement, the likes, and as well the shares that I see on other social platforms as well. So today I decided that let me hang on to what we were talking about last week about family and just to unpack the sum of the hidden or the secret or the family secrets of the family and what actually happens there. And as on the title, as I had placed it there, I wanted to talk about parent favoritism amongst kids that they have and how much this has an impact on the siblings and the consequences that come to be hate. Yeah, it's a lot. And maybe you may say, but like, Naledi, you don't have siblings. Yes, I don't. But guess what? My career has introduced me to a whole variety of family and everything. So whatever it is that I talk about on this platform, trust and believe, if it's not personal, it's definitely professional level. And I know and I've experienced and I've been exposed to such a manner of a topic that I'm talking about. So I'm not talking about my onions. I'm talking about swelly up. So yeah, let's get right into it. Right, so I wanted to unpack that most of the time, parents, what happens is when they have kids, most of the time they discipline their children in the way that they grew up. They discipline their kids in the way that they saw life. And as it said, parents, they discipline kids in their own way that they see fit because it's your child. Yeah, totally, I agree with that. But there's a problem that comes, and it's called parent favoritism. It's not something that is spoken about widely or vocally. Actually, many parents, they don't want to talk about this. When they are confronted about it, they don't want to confess to it. Yes, there had been people that had confronted their parents about this, and they shy away from it, and they would actually deny it and say, I would never do that. I love you in the same regard and in turn out the same way. But it's not always the case. It's not true. They say that they love all the kids in the same manner, but they don't. And that's the reality. Remember, as kids, this favoritism, it doesn't start when the kids are adults or teenagers. It most of the time happens when they are still toddlers or they are still during their childhood, early years on. And parents, I don't know, should I say they don't realize it or they don't want to be aware of what they are doing. The core thing of this parent favoritism is definitely projection. What I can say about that is when parents, they favor one child over another, it's based on the talent, the vision, the dream, the personality, the appearance of the one child than the other. Usually, most of the time, it's based on that. There is no parent that is going to have a favor over one kid over another. Just. There is something that draws them to that child that makes them regard them more than the other. Maybe, for example, I want to make a good example is maybe a parent sees a talent in the one child, or they see that their dream, and it's something that they personally as a parent they had wanted, but they didn't get the opportunity to have that talent or to materialize that dream. Or what is it that they love about that child in their appearance? Maybe they wanted to be like that and they never were like that. Or maybe they themselves, as they grew up as kids, they were made fun of, or they were picked up on, or their own parents themselves had said things to them. And now when they are growing up, okay, now they are adults and now they have their own kids, they are projecting all of that to the one kid and not the other. And that is where it all comes from, when they base one kid more than the other. And it's something that is it's open. The one that is less regarded sees it all. And sometimes the one that is highly regarded also sees it. And sometimes, actually, those kids that are highly favored see that and want to correct that you know what, trying to mix means that no, don't love me more than my other. Love us the same way. They see that. Now, if you're going to be a parent and have that sort of mentality. Most of the time, it's there, but parents, they don't want to confess. They don't want to say yes. They don't want to say. They don't want to realize the impact that they are doing to these kids. Doesn't matter whether they are 2 or 5 or 10. It doesn't matter. If there is that favoritism, it's loud because there are actions. Kids, they pick up more in what is done than what is said. You can say A, B, C, D, don't do this, don't do that. You know, no, don't smoke, don't drink. But you, as a parent who's smoking and drinking, your child is gonna smoke and drink because that's what you're saying. But then if you're gonna do that all the time, I'm not saying that kids that grow up with parents that drink and smoke also will automatically drink and smoke. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're going to be preaching and saying no this, but you are doing something different, the child is going to do exactly what you're doing than what you are saying. So in the same manner, you may say, no, I am not favoring one child over another, but you are doing that. But there are consequences. And these consequences, they don't come back to the parent. They come back to the one child that is more favored than the other. It becomes a sibling fight. And most of the time, or less of the time, I don't know whether I should say most or less, but it happens when there is silent hate. You know, you can hate someone and be vocal about it. I don't like you, I hate you. But the silent one is the most dangerous because everything is being bottled inside. Now, when a person is bottling everything inside, the fumes, the anger, the hate, there's just so much anger that is inside that has never been acted out or never talked about. And it's being fueled by the parent who's always having the favor over the other child. What parents lack to understand is the consequence of favoritism. When the one child who's less regarded sees that, feels that, and experiences that, they go into a space of having other kids around, school, at university, in the workplace, and they sell themselves short, low self-esteem, no self-respect. And when I say no self-respect, I'm not saying that they are out there doing wrong things. No, I mean that when people disrespect them, they absorb that and they see nothing wrong in that because they don't know what it is. Because they are being failed at home. They are being failed at home and they feel like everything that is being said or done to them, they absorb it and it's okay, and it's not okay. They just being those people who don't have confidence at all. Yes, they are there. Yes, they are performing, but there's always that part in them that feels like they can do more. And this is not about being what is this they call it, a perfectionist. Yo, I need to do more. I need to do more. No. I'm not talking about that type of I need to do more. I'm talking about the type of where someone does something and they feel like it's wrong, even though it's right. I mean, we meet people that we work with in the workplace, at university, and they did their best and they did something so well, and you're like, wow, you're so blown away. And for them, it's like, no, this thing, it's not up to date, it's wrong. Or really, they second guess their work. When you come to compliment them because it's unique, it's pure, it's wow, they second guess their plan, they second guess themselves, they second guess their marks, they second guess everything that they do, to the part where in the way that they dress. Oh, you throw a compliment to someone and they're like, oh yeah. You can see you can see that they are so uncomfortable and they don't believe that they received such a compliment. And that time, that person's got so much potential. And you're thinking to yourself, what do you mean you don't realize this about yourself? How? And they're not going to talk about it and say, oh, my mom and my dad, or they were severe. They're not going to talk about that. Because it's something that has always been instilled. It is a teaching that they received by actions and not by words. It destroys them to a point whereby it impacts, or I can say it has, in the way that they make decisions, it's there. Regards to the career that they choose, regards to when they are sitting with people, in regards to whether they were dating with someone, with regards to everything. And all of that goes down to how they were treated by their own parents and how their own parents saw them. And mind you, remember, you need to keep in mind that There's the whole emotional well-being, there's the whole mental well-being, and just the psychological well-being of an individual, and how much those are important. And if those are not embedded well at a very young age, especially for people that they've got the privilege of having both parents, having both parents that are there present, but having to lack that form of support because they are disregarded less than the other. As well, another example is parents that think that their kids who doesn't work, that are unemployed or not at university yet, who are still trying to be on their feet with their career, they're having failures there, and the other is just going. The other one is just going. They disregard the one who's unemployed, and they figure that this one doesn't matter. They matter. The one that is unemployed matters. The one that is trying to figure out their lives matters. The one that is having failures there and there matters. The one that looks like they are struggling with life matters. But when are we going to unpack these things? How? When? We have a wall that we build ourselves, that you don't confront an old person. What do you mean you don't confront an old person? This is not about old, young. No, this is about values. This is about my life. This is about life. I need to confront such issues. I need to be open about such issues. If I'm not going to talk about it, well, these people, who else am I going to be talking about to? And then parents wonder why kids are more close with their friends, or they tell friends things than them. That relationship, it doesn't just happen because you are my mother or because you are my father. No, it doesn't. You have to work for that. And that means that when you are a parent, you don't have favoritism. It's kids that are born from you. They are different. It's like twins. Twins, they may look the same, but they don't look 100% the same. They've got different fingerprints. They are different in some ways. You can tell you can tell even from appearance, even though they are twins, even though they are identical, there are something different about them. So in the same way of their character, their behavior, they are different. That is why you don't say twins. You name a person by their name and what they are about. So in the same way, it's in the regard of favoritism. It does so much damage to kids, and they grow up with that burden, and that becomes a whole trauma for themselves when they now go into other spaces whereby they are selling themselves short because of how they were regarded at home. And maybe you may ask yourself, but why am I doing this? I'm doing this simply for two reasons, and two reasons only. The one is the fact that maybe you may say, oh, my parents or parent are not on YouTube, and they won't get access to this for them to see. And it's okay. I am doing this specifically for people that they've seen they are siblings, or you're a sibling and you've been less regarded, or you are the sibling that was highly regarded by your parents or parent, is to actually have a conversation with them or confront them and talk about this if it still matters to you, to actually open up. But if you're a person that says, no, thank you, I'm good just like this, then it's fine, okay? It's also fine. I'm doing that for that reason. It's for people to understand that the impact of favoritism, sibling favoritism, it's there. There's so much hate. And that if you yourself feel like you need help and you feel like you haven't gotten over this and it still ticks you off to this day, I'd say that you need to seek professional help. And I know many people, they say that, oh, it's expensive. Yes, it is. But I also know places that are not expensive, and sometimes they don't even cost. It's like €0, but you gotta be connected. Yeah, but I won't be part of that, obviously, because I already know you or I already saw you, so that would be like conflict of interest, but then I can refer. Second, this is for the second part, is for people that are parents, is to say that yes, you are a parent right now and you didn't realize that you were doing that, but now after the video you see that, oh, actually I can see this. It's for a person to explore. It's for you to explore yourself. It's for you to sit down with yourself and see the actions more than your words. Actions, what has been happening, what have I been doing just around my kids. Maybe you didn't realize it. Maybe it was something that was just not there. it didn't tick to you until now. And as well, it's for people that don't have kids yet, but you plan on having kids in the future, and it's something that you need to think about widely, something that you need to think about all the time and remind yourself and check yourself. Because it may be that really, for example, I wanted to be in the Olympics, swim, and be the next Natalie Dutoit, and I see my one child, you know, I take them to swimming, but the one is disinterested. They like more hockey, or they like tennis, but this one loves swimming a lot. And now I need to check myself that I'm not gonna favor this one who loves swimming more because I love swimming, and disregard the other one because they love tennis and I don't love tennis. I need to give the share of love, of care, of interest in both, or in 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 of them. Doesn't matter. We need to check ourselves constantly, because we don't want to raise a generation that keeps on having traumas of having all the time childhood traumas. They are there all the time. We don't want to be a generation that does that. We need to check ourselves. We need to be the generation that always checks ourselves. When we are wrong, we apologize to our kids. When our kids, they confront us, we are able to say, okay, let's talk about this, and then we are able to explore together and apologize, see a way forward. That is the generation that we want to grow. Not the one whereby things are hidden because dimdala, I'm old, you don't talk to me about this, or dimdala, or singabana bamnyama. No, we need to kill my videos. I don't know if you notice, but every time I want to kill that, because the amount, I cannot talk about my professional work I can't, but like it's a cry. We need to remove these walls of dimdala. You can't talk to me. You can't talk to me about such a thing. Or we don't do these things. We don't seek professional help. What is that? You need professional help. It's there. The services are offered. So these are the things that I just want to make sure that I come here, I educate, and people after the videos, they have a reflection about themselves and see that if they can do better. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.